Hello and welcome back to Songs of Syx. And the music plays right on cue. Finally something works in my behalf. I am the Fiend, and we're going to be continuing our human tutorial series. I've been having some very bad luck recently with certain things. This series has been very hard. I'm going to quickly go over what I've done to the city and kind of catch you guys up into the direction and the path of where I'm taking it. We're trying to remove all of this stuff here. Everything we have on the sides, we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to make it look like this. We want it to be nice, squared, and symmetrical. So we have these, what I call city blocks. You can see it's right. It starts from this corner, it goes over to here, it goes down here and there. This is a block. This block has all of the services they need for a tavern, restaurant, lavatory. They have a janitor and they have a warehouse, as well as another warehouse supplying these services. They're all in a lane because I like that. I like that style. I'd imagine that if you had a market, it would kind of cover the center of the town too, like that. This is where the housing is, so there's 100 slots for people to live in on both sides of the road, and I can upgrade them as soon as I possibly can. I also like to get some people in here. And we have room on either side of these or on one side I should say, to put a building. Right now I'm putting in buildings like embassies, administration buildings, and laboratories. That will probably continue in doubles. So for example, they're not all going to be in the same, they're not all going to be like the admin district. As much as I'd like to do that, I think what I'll just do is I'll have like another block, two blocks with admin. I probably won't need more embassies, so this is good for now. The embassy, I'll explain a little bit, because he came in clutch. Very clutch guy there, right there, and they're very useful if you want. If you get more and more of them, they'll obviously become more overpowered, but I'm personally not interested in playing the game that way right now. But you can if you'd like. The labs are right here. So you can see these blocks are all independently operating in their own area, but these people can cross over and go to another one. Very soon I'd like to upgrade them, but we're trying to get one of our regions to send us clay so we can make a potter. Down here we have our crafting and refinement zones. I have this kind of set up in a weird way where the services for the area like hearth, speakers, and everything are down here on the right side. And then there's no road. Then there's this little like area for people to work in a warehouse. I like it, kind of. And then I have the spare like random ones like the 2 stages and an arena over here. It seems to cover their services pretty well. You can see 68%. The bathhouses are getting up there, and it's only because I have the one bathhouse, but if I can get all 3 of these bathhouses up and running, everyone in the whole city should have access to like baths. And if you'd like to, you should do this. I think that not even if you'd like, you should in general, you should access it to 70%. You click this little slider, that'll bring it down so that they're not using it all, and they'll use both wells and bathhouses. If everyone has 70% access, they'll be fulfilled. They won't continuously use it. The same with restaurants. So they'll go to the restaurant. If it's full, they'll go to a food stall. You can see they're not filling up too bad, and we have plenty of coal. So it seems like the restaurants are doing their job. We don't have a lot of big restaurants, but we have a lot of restaurants, and these guys go to them regularly, which feels good. You can see they're all just walking down the road. We have no slaves in the city, so these are all free people doing their things, free of their own volition, and these humans are coming down to swear fealty. I am really looking forward to aestheticizing the city. It's going to take me a little bit because of my scheduling and where I'm at, but my goal and plan for this area is to actually do this. So we're going to put like a bunch of training grounds, training through here, and a wall and all kinds of cool stuff. And then we'll have our castle over here to the side. so with tons of storage space. And I think we'll be good on that level. But that's covering all of the city block stuff I wanted to explain. And if you'd like to know, I'm going to just jump into this really quickly, as this is something I'd like to cover and have wanted to cover. Copy area, room copier. These are pretty self-explanatory. This guy wants to give me some stuff. Thank you. No, I don't want that though. Planning. Planning is allowing you to place things without like actually placing them. So if I wanted to plan my whole city, I could do it like that, and then you can click activate job, cover it like this, and they'll get to doing that job. So I'm gonna have them activate doing this job. It's gonna take them a long ass time. There's a lot of materials that need to get assembled before they can actually build these buildings here. Back into the planning. Repair. If a building was attacked in combat in any kind of way, if you had a rebellion or something like that, you can use this button to repair the building that's been damaged. In all my days of Songs of Syx, I've never had to use this tool. Suspend jobs. Obviously, if you wanted to suspend a job, you can do that. It's the same as the delete job. Enable maintenance. This will just delete the maintenance for an area, so you can basically say, I don't want you guys to do this. But I don't know if it actually works. This doesn't seem to... Yeah, I don't think this works. So, avoid that one. So, enable disable maintenance doesn't seem to work. Make diagonal. Now, this is the reason I went into this right here. We're here to show you diagonal tool. If I go like that, you can see very closely, the walls became diagonal. These corners were rounded off. So if you're building a round city, make sure you're using the make diagonal tool. I have a square city, so if I had actually done that and ruined the aesthetic of my city, I can go like this and use the make rectangle tool. And perfect city. Back to the way it should be. Alright, and the last part is to make a blueprint room. You have to already have made the building, and then you just click that little aiming point and you click this, and you have saved it. You can see it'll say saved right there. You can save multiple if you'd like. Click them all, and then you can move them as you choose. It tells you the dimensions, the name of it. You can rename it, so you can call it Bathy, and big old Bathy here. And you could drop a new one by just clicking it and allow you to go like that. Boom. Someone also in my chat, in my Discord, mentioned that this does not have to be as long or as crazy as I have made it. I believe it simply has to just give Sweetwater access to the building. Period. It doesn't have to cover the whole building like I have. But to be honest, I just do this for the aesthetic. I do this for the aesthetic. You can min-max or do whatever you want with these water pumps. There's really an infinite way of learning how these things work. And I have these flowing into each other here. I obviously could have them go in somewhere else doing more with them, but I choose not to, because the purpose of the pump, in my opinion, for this city is simply just to give them pools and bathhouses. They don't need to farm, because my world regions are farming. And that's where we're going to get into kind of the other half of this video, as it's going to be a word salad. And if you haven't played enough of this game, you might not understand what I'm talking about. But if you've played a lot, you'll know what I'm talking about. So here we are. We're on the world map, and I am at war with 3 different guys. And if you've been following along, you know that I mentioned the Erland Crowns. Who the heck are these guys? These are new. Yeah. They're a vassal state. They're our vassal here. So let's actually, we have trade with them. That's good. How much are you willing to give me for stuff? I've broken off from my tangent because, whoo, that's good. That's good. So what I like to do with my friends here, if they're a vassal of mine, I want them to actually be happy. I don't want them to be unhappy with me. So I'm gonna give him like a good number of stuff, and I don't even want money. Right? That made him like me a little bit more. So as I mentioned, though, we were at war. We've been at war with 4 different factions for a while. I killed the 4th faction. They were small, thoroughly. Naya is on the chopping block. They have a very high disliking of us. They were the friends of us originally, and these guys as well. The only people who are friends with us right now is Yerva. Yerva is only friends with me because I sack neighbors, take all of their gear, and then send it to him instantly. Because I have nothing else. I can't do anything except for this. Oh, it's Yerpa. That's funny. So I do this. I clear out their stuff, right? Occupy them. And I march my damn mercenary army onto the next place in line to try to destroy these guys. But I was running out of money. I had basically no money at all. And this guy here, he wasn't trading with us. Our boy Yerva. Oh, that is Yerva. And then there's Yerpa. We just captured Yerpa. Or Verpa. Oh my god, there's so many different names. Regardless, he did not like us. He had a negative 200 viewpoint of us, and he was buying goods off us. You can see he really doesn't even have good prices for anything anyways. Look at that, 111 for these. Like, he is an asshole, and we really want to rob him or something eventually. But for now, we're going to be friendly with him because he has money, and he's giving it to us. Now that this guy is around, actually, I'll probably start selling more to him because he's willing to buy things for a little bit more. You can see he's not willing to buy them anymore for anything because he has some. Regardless, I had to pull out. And how did I get to where I'm at with $2 million when I was literally at 100,000 and I had way more enemies coming at me than I needed? I had to manipulate the system. So the one time the mercenaries have come in clutch in the way that I think that they should in this game, I was able to purchase mercenaries like very quickly. So they were trying to besiege Woodard, and every time I would buy an army and post them up here, and this is how I lost all my money, the guy would just say, oh, I'm not going there, and he would turn back around and he'd fucking go all the way back over here, making me spend upwards of $150,000 to $200,000 or denarii on a mercenary army, only to lose them instantly. That was really painful. So what I had to do was basically spawn the army on top of them when they made it into my region. So I go like this. You can see I click it. I put it in the same square as the like army as it was marching as I paused it. And then I attacked from the pause menu. Because that is the only way you can actually catch them when they're running away from you like that. So for example, like this guy, he's defending his capital. He'll stand there and he'll fight. But if you're far away like I am, and the guy is going as far as possible away, you have to. And I was also being attacked on multiple angles. It's not like my only choice, or rather, it was my only choice because I had an army coming up from here, army coming from here, and this guy here. So all three of the armies of these different countries, this guy over here, came at the same time. And you can see he's got almost the full army there and almost a full army here. Our garrison's only 100 guys. And immediately from the start of this game, if you remember early on, I wasn't that aggressive. I attacked Medellanium here, and it was free. And I still have to go and actually rename these. I've just been very, very busy in my personal life. And Jesus, man, it's just crazy to me that they went so ham on me because I went over here and I took the Rolly. I think the Rolly must have had really good relations with them because they just went off the walls bananas on me. And I've just been at war with them for so long, and finally having sacked and sieged many different places like this guy, he gives me peace treaty options like this like every other day. That's never happening. We're going to clean him off the face of the earth. I think that's his last, this is his last territory right here. So, marching instead. If he was smart, he would say, I don't want to be turned into nothing. It would give me a deal. But I don't have good relations with him. So he's not going to. That's fine by me. I would like to have 2 people at war with me now instead of 3. But basically, what I was explaining is if you get caught up in a weird situation, it's always good to have spare money in your pocket to buy something or buy your way out of it. And the way I had to do that was I gave away so many things to that guy, Yerva here, so that he liked me. And if you look, he's got a very high liking towards me, but it's always constantly dropping. And I have 31 emissaries on him. I could probably put one more, yeah. With 31 emissaries. So the diplomacy there is 7.65. I think that's just in general from me giving him stuff. Flattery, 3.94. So I've given him a lot of wealth, basically, but he still sees our wealth as a threat. So both threat and wealth are a considerable problem to him. But he is relatively happy with this, but this will drop over time. So it's important, if you want to keep them as a good friend, that you give them free shit all the time. Like, just send them free shit or give them good trade deals on spare loot. They're basically like the mob boss. And this is good. This is a good analogy because we're in Italy. They're like the mob boss, and you got to pay up your dues to the mob boss because he allows you to live. And that's basically what's happening. If he decided to go to war with us, I don't know if I could survive all of them at once. I I maybe could. I think potentially with my wild shenanigans and the antics I've been up to, yes, because the mercenaries are so overpowered. But you need to have somebody to sell to, and that's where setting up little towns. I'm actually gonna go in the next episode and take Genoa and Statuelli and turn them into little places like Erland Crowns here, because even though they're small, you can see their size is small overall. They actually do pretty well with getting population, like, or not population but resources and money. So like he's got 200K and he's buying stuff for pretty good prices. So he's actually worth something to me. And like some people say in the future, you can bully and manipulate them. But yeah, I just wanted to cover that in case you get into a situation where you're at war with 3 different guys and you're feeling like it's a little unfair and you don't want to lose your whole city. Definitely spawn the freaking mercenary recruit army on top of them, because if they're gonna do that where they come in, and that is a bullshit strategy in my opinion from their behalf. So I'm gonna hit them with the weirdest stuff too. To come in all the way from here, get right to the port right there, and then even if I had my army sitting up here, they wouldn't come. So I wouldn't be able to fight them. So there's no point of having mercenaries. So they'll just wait till I don't have them anymore. Come over and take everything. And then if they encounter an enemy that's too large, they run away. I guess that's fair to true history, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to sit here and spend money watching them retreat. And if you had your own army, I think that would even inflict, like, infuriate you even more because the amount of supplies necessary to actually move them. And there's this weird mechanic where if you try to tell a guy to intercept, watch what happens. Oh, they're not gonna do it right now, but they often will walk backwards and then walk forwards if a guy is moving. So if an army is moving towards you, the army in question that you told to march forward will actually take a step back and then move forward, or often not even follow the target that you're telling them to. So there's some jank to the armies in the world progression that I think is worth manipulating. Just for your first times, I would say that I've played this enough where I don't like doing it, and it's kind of a strategy that I'm not happy doing anymore, but I used to do very frequently, and I'm doing frequently on this series because it just makes life easier. Makes life a lot easier to have that ability. And you can see I'm Rome, so I don't give a shit. I am New Rome, and I will do what I need to do. And somebody brought up that Carthage buys mercenaries. Well, I am Carthage now. I am everyone. I'm gonna take these guys down so quick. We have an army over here and they're not done. Look at this. So we have one army. We have one mercenary army, and another one over here. Just fighting it out. Taking them out. Can't stand these bastards. There's so many people at war with me. And I was peaceful with them at first. I didn't want to come over here. I didn't start this. They started this, and they don't want to give me a good deal. They want literally, let's look at the freaking peace treaties over here. All of their peace treaties are the same, 1.7 million. And it's just because my money's dropping, 1.39 million. 499. So you can see, just a couple days ago, that's how broke I was. That's how broke I was. That was only about a year ago in this game. In a year's time, I went from being a broke loser to being a rich, successful millionaire. Sorry. I'm not at billions of dollars. If you had billions of dollars in this game, I think that there would be nobody left to trade with, and all your regions would just be taxed. Technically, you can tax them if they're happy. If you look, cover this region here, that's how much they're getting per month or per day based on the taxes of this region on their happiness. If you boost it, you can get a little bit more, but you can see their happiness goes down. So the population plus the amount they have to pay makes them unhappy. So if they're not paying very high taxes, they're pretty happy and they're growing. So it's important to keep your taxes down if you don't have troops there. If you have some troops stationed on that place, you can bump those taxes all the way up to the top like this, and they won't even be bothered because there's troops there, and you'll get like a pretty decent amount of money every day. Not too much, but if you had like 2 or 3 of those going, you'll be getting some good money. Regardless, all my rambling aside, I appreciate you guys watching these videos. Tried to make it a little longer today because I know the one yesterday was really short, and it was just to the point. I wanted to cover pumps, and I also wanted to really cover the diagonal tool. I can get back to the diagonal tool because even some of my close friends here don't know the diagonal tool. It makes things life easier, makes things look better. Some buildings don't have the option for that, and that's just because they haven't been implemented yet, but you can pretty much do it to every building. And no roads. The roads are already like that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!